that's not enough. We got more. Another episode of The Unconventional Wisdom. I got a chance to catch up with singer-songwriter, actress, and author Chante Moore, who is currently living in California, which is obviously a hotspot for COVID-19 right now. So we talked about how she's doing during this pandemic and much more. Take a look. The one and only Chante Moore joining us from the West Coast, from Los Angeles, bright and early, her time. First thing I want to talk about, because we can't, move past what is going on in this country right now with everything with what happened with George Floyd, be it Breonna Taylor, everything that's going on, social justice, racial inequality. What is this? What does all this mean to you?
Well, all of it out there is a little bit disconnected in my home. However, with my son being 17 and driving, that part brings it to the forefront of the everyday life. A
lot of people that I've talked to as well are asking questions about, the conversations that we as African Americans, as Black people, have to have with our kids when they get to be a certain age about going out into the world, how to deal with police, what to do and what not to do. I'm sure you've had that. I've had that conversation with all of my children, and they're young. I'm sure you've had that conversation before now.
Yes, absolutely. I always tell them, don't forget you're Black, honey. I love you. Have fun. The fun that other kids can have if they start acting goofy or a little more expressive than usual at a mall or anywhere. It can turn out to be a completely different outcome because our children have color on their skin. So I really do try to keep him aware of it and not in a heavy way. So I go, oh, don't forget you're Black. He goes, oh, you're just saying that because I'm Black. I'm like, and ugly. I just try to make it a joke ahead of time. Right. Now it's really serious. Like, okay, seriously, babe, your job is to come home alive. Just be careful. And no matter what happens, come back home to mama alive. That's don't try to be a hero today. Not today.
Right. All right. Let's switch gears and talk about this pandemic, because a lot of people have been at home, stuck at home. They haven't been able to run and do the other things that they normally do in a safe manner. And in California, it's a lot different because you were open. You were closed at first. Then you were open, and now it's flaring back up, and now you're kind of closed again. So what have you been doing during all of this? What's the feel in California?
It's kind of eerie. When everything was shut down, I like to go out and eat by myself, or just kind of be in a space at the park or something. It felt like it wasn't real life. Like the Twilight Zone was what it felt like to me. I find that being home is not strange for me, because when I work, I'm gone and I travel. And so then I come back home, and then it's, make sure I take care of myself and kind of settle. But now having the pandemic and the quarantine part, it's a little odd. But it has brought us closer together as a family.
Talk about you got some new music you're working on. Is it out yet? I know COVID-19 has thrown everybody's schedule off. What's the deal with the music?
It's in July. I have a new single coming out. I'm not sure if the whole thing comes out in July or not. I think we're going to try to figure out what is the best thing now that things are closing back down again. We kind of have to readjust just a little bit. But it's a song called Hold It Down. And it really is about kind of what's happening now and holding it down for those who are in places where they can't just support themselves, where it be somebody who's in the army or armed forces and they're out there. We hold it down as the other half, or if someone is in jail and you're going, you know what, you paying your price. And then when you come home, we're going to find a job for you. We'll find a way and we'll accept you back in our lives again. There's a whole nother side of life that people don't even think about, holding it down. And as a single parent, I've had to hold it down for my children a long time. And it's been great. But, that's something that specifically has to happen. Somebody has to have strength enough to do it. So that's what that song's about. And there's another song that I'm going to co-connect with that. Okay. Saida Garrett wrote this song for me, and it's called Put It on Faith. Okay. And I think I'm going to put that out during that time. So I think that's going to be something new and fresh that's going to happen.
All right. So that's coming in July. Some new music from Chante Moore coming in July. All right. Yeah. Looking forward to that. I'll let you go on that note. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to see you again. I can leave the city.
I know. If we can get you out of California and get you here to D.C. at some point, maybe in the next year or two.
It's one of my favorite cities ever.
Yes. Well, Chante, thank you. Thank you
So much.
a million times over. All right. Chante and I also went through the meaning behind some of our favorite songs and some of my favorite songs. And also talked about Sing, Talk, and Love on our Instagram Live that she does every Sunday. You can listen to the full interview on my podcast, Unconventional Wisdom, on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Audio Boom, or go to Fox 5's website and click on the podcast tab, and you can get it all from Ralph Tresvant and Chante Moore and some other people as well. Allison.
Smiling.